living in the dorms at the time I was dating this guy, and I found out that he was cheating on me through this girl's private story that one of my guy friends was added to. She posted a picture of my boyfriend on her story with a bunch of hearts around his face. Also, she had a bunch of guys added to this private story, and she didn't even go to my college. My guy friends showed me this, and I looked closer. The picture was taken in his room, the floor above my room, in his dorm room. So obviously I flip out on him and I break up with him, right? Well, okay, that happened in, I believe, May. He goes home for summer break, okay? We leave college, we haven't talked or anything. Fast forward to August, he comes back and he's trying to talk to me. He's trying to get back together with me, blah, 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 blah. Apparently he tells this girl that he wants to work things out with me and ends things, basically. I don't know what they were. I don't know if they started dating, but at this point, he breaks it off with her in August. So at this point in my life, I don't know what this girl looks like. I had never seen her before. I knew her name because my friend told me her name was, we're gonna call her Katie, okay? Her name was Katie. That's all I knew. But she wasn't actually even from the town that I was from and going to college. Anyways, so one morning, I'm walking out to my car in the parking lot of the college, and I get in my car and I drive to the post office. I'm just running errands. So I pull up and I exit my car, and when I get out of my car, I see that I have a huge scratch from my side mirror all the way to the back bumper. I'm obviously like, what the fuck? Who did this? That is my first question that I have. Who did this? Because I'm inspecting it, just checking to see if maybe this was an accident, but no, that shit was deep as fuck. At this point in my life, I have no beef with anyone. I'm chilling. Like, life is good, okay? So I'm like, what the fuck? So I obviously file a police report, okay? And I file a claim with my insurance, whatnot. Still trying to rack my brain. Cannot figure out who would have done this, okay? Fast forward a year. I'm in a whole new relationship. We are 6 months in at this point. We're very happy. Things are great, okay? I'm over this man that cheated on me. I'm at a bead shop, okay, like a crystal shop with my new boyfriend and his family, his sister, his nephew, and his sister's boyfriend. We're in this crystal shop for a good 45 minutes. We're in there for a while, okay? We're walking out. I am walking out with my boyfriend and his family to my car. And as we're walking out, these two girls come up to me out of nowhere and they go, "Are you Peyton?" And I go, "Yeah." Then they go, "We heard you were talking shit about our girl Katie." And at this point in my life, I didn't know a Katie. No idea. So I'm like, "Katie who?" And they're like, "Don't play dumb." So I say, "I don't know a Katie." "Katie who? Who are you talking about?" And before they can even answer that question, it clicks in my head and I'm like, "Katie, okay." Then I think my ex. So I'm like, "Are you talking about Katie, my ex's name, that Katie?" And they're like, "You know damn well who we're talking about." And I'm like, hold up. I haven't even spoken to that man in so long. And if you have a problem, take it up with him and not with me, because I have nothing to do with that situation. And I don't even know Katie, okay? I've never even seen what she looks like. And if I'm talking shit about anyone, I'm talking shit about my ex, not about her. I don't know who she is, and he's the one that cheated. So I was like, if you have a problem, take it up with him, not with me. And then they go, "Don't talk disrespectfully to us." And I literally laughed and I got in my car and we drove away. So not only did they follow me and stalk me in that store and waited for me to leave to try and run up on me or something, they really had a problem with something that happened over a year ago that I had absolutely nothing to do with. I was the girlfriend. If anything, I should be the one running up on Katie. And also, I have no idea who those two girls were from that day. So I don't remember their faces or anything. So if I would have seen them, or if I saw them in public today, I wouldn't even recognize them or know them from those two girls, because I don't remember their faces. Their faces weren't that memorable. Also, it was just stupid too, because I was with my new boyfriend and his family when that happened. And it was funny because my boyfriend's sister's boyfriend was like, "Damn, I thought I was gonna have to beat some bitches up." So as we're driving away, I'm thinking about it and I'm like, that's weird, because the time that I got my car keyed was around that same time that my ex told her that he was trying to make things work with me and cut it off with her. And then I'm like, how did she know my name? How did she know what car I drove? How did she know anything about me? I literally
don't even know where to start, but I'm probably going to start with the most traumatic, which my adopted dad, like, that was the most traumatic. And get this, listen. Okay, so when he came over to my apartment to tell me that day. He, like, rang me up and he called me and he's like, hey, can I, like, come over and talk to you? And I was like, okay, sure. Had a gut feeling. Think that I'm crazy? Swear to God. Had a gut feeling. Get off the phone with him. I'm anticipating his arrival. I'm, like, peeping through the blinds. I have this gut feeling. I'm sick to my stomach. Then I hear, I go sit down. Hear the car door slam. Go look out the window. See him walking up. I know what the fuck he's gonna say. I know what he's going to say. And you're like, oh, Laura, how'd you know what he was gonna say? Because he did weird shit my entire life. And I gaslit myself into thinking that maybe it wasn't weird because I didn't have a dad, so I didn't know what that relationship was really like. Okay, so I lived on the second story. He had to walk up 2 flights of stairs, knocked on my door. I'm sweating. Like, my anxiety, like, is so bad. I let him in. He sits down on one couch. Well, he's pacing a little bit, sits down on one couch. I'm sitting down on the other couch. And he's crying. And to think of, my adopted dad was born in the 60s. He was a country guy. He was like, you know how guys from the 60s are, how old dudes from the 60s are. So, like, I think I maybe saw him cry, like, once ever. So I thought he was having a mental breakdown and he couldn't even speak. And I was like, say it. I was like, just say it. Say what you're going to say. Like, almost coercing it out of him because I was afraid that he wasn't going to say it. And I wanted to know what he was going to fucking say. I really should have recorded it, but. So he says, Laura, I'm in love with you. Look at me dead in the eyes with tears rolling down his fucking face. Knowing me, literally, I'm gonna have to show a picture of me whenever I was 6 years old, but I was like, he's known me since I was like as tall as my fucking knee. He's like, Laura, I'm in love with you. And I was like, oh, I love you too. And he's like, no, I mean, I'm in love with you. Like, I would love to marry you. I'm telling you, I'm freaking the fuck out in here. But it is also giving me clarification on everything that it has happened throughout my time knowing him since I was 6 years old. I blacked out after that. I fucking blacked the fuck out. I remember him asking me, because I lived like 5 or 6 blocks away from my childhood home that I grew up in. Fuck. I remember him asking me to dinner because it was the weekend. They were a horrible family, but one thing that they generally did was like Sunday dinners or whatever. So he asked me to dinner, and I'm sure I said like yeah or something like that. And then he walked out of my house and I locked every fucking lock on that door, and I went into my fucking bedroom and I locked that door and I hid under my blankets and I fucking sobbed my eyes out. I was like hyperventilating. I was like freaking out. I was in there for over an hour before I was able to like do anything else than that. And I texted my sister. At the time I was married to a man. But anyway, I texted my ex-husband, and I was like, you're not gonna believe this. If you don't believe this, I'm gonna fucking leave you because this is fucked up. So I texted him everything, and before I gave him a chance to even read it or respond, I was like, no, fuck this. I need to talk to somebody. So I call him and I tell him every single fucking detail. Mind you, my ex-husband was not a good man either. That's another story, an equally as traumatizing story. But anyway, I was on the phone with him and he was just like, he's like, Laura, you must be confused. Like, imagine a man sticking up for another fucked up man. But he's like, Laura, you have to be confused. There's got to be some. And he knows my history with these people and my adopted dad. But he's literally like, no, you're confused. There's no way. I hang up on him. I call the most important person in my world, which is my little sister. And I tell her, and she's freaking the fuck out too, because she has fucked up experiences.
of the craziest things that's ever fucking happened to anybody just happened to me, and I honestly, I'm really questioning my reality. So I just got on a flight. Okay, I sit down. The couple in front of me, they have like a 6-week-old baby. Okay, and they immediately start fighting on the flight straight up. Like, she just steps on his neck right away, where she's like, something is wrong with your fucking brain. Like, something with the way that it works is fucking wrong with your brain. And he's like, oh my god, why are you doing this right now? And she's like, no, because like something is seriously fucking wrong with you. And I'm like, damn girl, like what's going on? And she is not being quiet. She's just going for it. And like, while this is happening, they're like, fasten your seatbelts. Like, they're doing the in-flight announcements, and so they'll like pause, and then they'll go right back to beefing. And he's like, oh my god, like, I'm not the one who's freaking out. You're the one who's freaking out. And that's why that guy had to grab you. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And I'm just sitting there being like being nosy, like, and everybody else on the flight's ignoring it. Okay, so, and they're like being loud, where they're talking at a volume of like, and honestly, and I'm like, so they're going back and forth, and she's like, no, because like, why is there a bitch in your phone? I'm like, oh shit, like, drag him by his hair down the aisle, girl, no one will say anything, what's happening? And she's like, cause why is she messaging me that you were creeping on Snapchat? And he's like, oh my god, all I did was add her, we weren't even talking. And then she was like, why did you add her? And he's like, because she added me. And she's like, because she just told me that she was talking to you and that you were creeping. And he's like, did she send you screenshots? And she's like, no, because it's from Snapchat. And he's like, exactly, so nothing happened. I don't know why she's saying that. I just added her. The baby's quiet as hell. What's this happening? I'm like, damn, like, they fight like this all the time. This baby doesn't give a fuck. That's crazy. Is it just because it's like 6 weeks old? Because I don't know. I don't have a baby. I'm like, what's up? Like, I thought babies cry, fucking everything. This is crazy. And so they're just going back and forth. Again, pausing every time that they're like, don't forget the flotation devices are under your seat. And they're like, anyway, fuck you. It's crazy. So then he's like, oh yeah, nothing's ever in your phone because it doesn't have to be. And she's like, oh my god, what does that mean? And he's like, why are you still hanging out with your ex? Why is he hanging around? I'm like, ooh. And then she immediately gets defensive. So I'm like, oh, like, did he just like touch a nerve? Like, what's going on? And so she's like, oh my god, he's not even around that much. And he's like, you just went on a picnic with him one-on-one. And she's like, oh my god, that was to celebrate our pregnancy. And he's like, yeah, but I'm the dad. Like, what the fuck? And I'm like, what is going on? And then she's like, it's not like anything happened, bro. Like, I was huge at that time. He's like, oh yeah, because that stopped Stefan Diggs. Pop culture reference. What is happening? And I'm just sitting back there like, I'm texting like my friends and like Kylan about this, being like, bro, like live updates and shit. So then they're going back and forth. And she's like, he's not even around that much. Like, why are you even worried about him? And he's like, oh, really? And he just immediately lists off like 5 times the guy's been around recently. And I'm like, damn, it is not looking good for our girl. And then she looks at him, and she's holding a baby now. He was holding it at the beginning. They passed it off. She looks at him. She goes, why are you even getting mad on a flight, bro? Like, why are you even fighting on a flight, bro? And he's like, honestly, I don't know. And I'm like, did I just watch her gaslight successfully just now? Like, this is great. Like, she started it. And so I'm just like, oh my god, like, what's going on? And so then she's like, don't try that shit with me again. Like, I'm not a dummy. And then he's like, okay. And then they start like hysterically laughing. And I'm like, what is the tone of this moment? Like, what the fuck is going on? So then the flight takes off. Okay. They start rehashing it again, and it's like quieter, so I can only hear bits and pieces, but it's mainly about like they're just re-looping, and she's bringing up Snapchat, he's bringing up the ex, it's going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. At some point, like 30 minutes before she land, she's like, oh, the baby. And then they both start fussing over the baby. So I'm like, oh, I guess the baby woke up. But this baby's well behaved as fuck. Like, this baby hasn't made any goddamn noise this whole flight. I'm like, this baby is so calm that I'm nervous about it, honestly. Like, I don't know what's up with this baby. Like, I'm glad it's not dead. I was starting to get worried, but like, what the fuck? So then we get off the flight, or the flight lands, so we're getting ready to get off, and I know that he's like effectively losing this fight because he starts narrating everything he's doing out loud, and she's just like straight up ignoring him, holding his baby like this. It's like swaddled. She's like giving him the cold shoulder, and he's like, gotta put on my jacket, gotta zip up my bag. And then anytime he meets any sort of resistance, like he can't get his arm in the jacket all the way, or like he can't zip up his bag, he's like, bruh. And I'm like, damn, this guy's annoying as fuck. Anyway, so like, I see where she's mad. So then they like stand up, they go to get off the fucking plane, and I'm walking behind them. I've been behind them this whole time. So all I can really see is the back of each of their head, and then like the top of the baby's head. It's got some hair. It's got a little bit of a cone head. It's like a new baby for sure. It's got like a small head still. So like, we get out, And this shit, I cannot prepare you for this shit. I cannot prepare you for what happened next. I'm honestly still reeling about it. I'm questioning my reality. I really am. We get off the flight. I see the front of them for the first time. And he's like, hand her to me. She hands the swaddled baby over, and then he grabs the baby by its head. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, you should be worried about a soft spot. What the fuck? And then he picks up a coconut, and he holds it in the sky, and he goes, coconut. And then he re-swaddles it, and they start holding it again like a baby. And then they walk to baggage claim, and they keep holding it like a baby, talking about the baby this, the baby that. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, that was a coconut the whole time? That's why the baby was so quiet, because it's a coconut? That's why I thought maybe the baby was dead or something, because he was never truly alive, because it's a coconut? How did you even get a coconut on the flight? Why are you leaving Philly with a coconut to go to the Midwest? Like, I know they sell coconuts everywhere, but like, why? It's not like it's like a souvenir of like, oh, Philadelphia coconuts, unless I'm mistaken. But like, what the fuck? And they're talking about the baby the whole time, so I would think like, oh, maybe they were referencing a baby that they had back at home, but like, they swaddled it and they were rocking it and shit, and they kept referring to it as the baby. But then also, I was like, maybe they're on crack, and then I was like, but then why did he break, like, why did his disbelief get suspended? Like, why was he aware at one point that it was a coconut to the point where he could go, coconut? Without them both freaking the fuck out over the fact that the baby's a coconut now. Like, what? And my dad picked me up. And I'm telling all of this to him. And he's like, maybe it was some, like, couples therapy thing of, like, oh, like, pretend that you have a baby, you know, like, to imagine greater responsibilities outside oneself or something. Or, like, maybe she's early pregnancy and they're trying to prepare and, like, their couples therapist recommended this. And I was like, sure, but then why didn't they give them a baby doll? Why is it a coconut? And again, how did they get the coconut on the plane? Like, can you just bring coconuts on the plane? Like, it's a plot twist it's a true plot twist. Because who the fuck would have thought that was a coconut? Like, hours of my life, I believed a coconut was a baby. Huh? And I have so many questions that are never going to be answered about this. I'm reeling. I'm actually fucking reeling.